Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our weekly Essential Education live stream. My name's Jen. I get to be the Student Success Coach here at Essential Ed, and we are happy that you have joined us today for a fun and exciting topic. At least I think so, and hopefully I can spread some of my excitement to you today. It is called YOU-nique Success Skills. That's right, YOU-nique Success Skills, because you may have already guessed this. While yes, every learner is different, and we talk about that a lot. We talk about learning differences and how they make us unique. They set us apart, and it doesn't have to be something that gets us down. It can be something that we can celebrate as long as we learn how to tailor instruction to our unique needs. But it also means this: adult learners are different. Adult learners are different. And again, you may already know that. You may say, look, I know I'm different. And you don't necessarily view that as a positive. You say to yourself, yeah, I'm an adult learner, so I didn't necessarily do high school in the time frame that I was supposed to, or no, I didn't finish when I was 18, so I'm an adult learner and I'm trying to get my high school equivalency credential. Stop that. Stop that. Yes, adult learners are different, but that's not a bad thing. In fact, there are really awesome things about adult learners that set you apart and give you an edge when you are looking to make a career jump, when you're looking to make a career change, when you're working through to get your high school equivalency credential, and then you're taking that next step, whether that is continuing on to college or a trade or vocational program, or whether that is sitting down and telling somebody about your experiences and your skills to get your foot in the door in a great new job, or move up in a job that you currently already love. So we're going to talk about some of those things that we need to celebrate our adult learning community in, things that we need to come around and recognize. Yes, adult learners are different, but different is not bad. Different is wonderful, and different should be highlighted. We want you to say this to yourself. Yes, adult learners are different, but I'm going to embrace it because my different is good. I remember when my kids were growing up, we loved to share this little tagline, this little phrase with them: weird is a side effect of awesome. Nobody wants to be the same as everyone else, right? We might tell ourselves that, but we all want something that sets us apart. And we all have unique and wonderful things that set us apart. Thus, YOU-nique success skills. So we want to help you to learn today what sets you apart as an adult learner, how you can talk about that, perhaps in a college interview, a scholarship interview, or a job interview as you work to complete your high school equivalency credential and other specialized skills. We want to help you learn how to highlight, just color, just illuminate what makes you so special. Now, we're going to talk about adult learners in general, but as we do this today, I want you to think about yourself. I want you to take that introspective look. And as we go over these 8 important things that make adult learners unique, that make them special, 8 important characteristics of adult learners, I want you to kind of get out that mirror, get out that magnifying glass on yourself and say, okay, how do I show this? What is an example that I could use if somebody asked me to emulate this skill, if they asked me to give an example or a sample of a time that I showed this skill? Okay, so that's your job. I'm going to give you the information, and your job today is to do that introspection. Turn in and look and say, okay, what example could I give for this? Are you ready? We've got our directives. Let's go. All right, the first one is adult learners are independent. What does that mean? It means you have self-motivation. It means you are the one that are making your choices. You didn't have that as a traditional student for the most part, right? You had your mom or your dad or your guardian, your caregiver, whoever that was, helping you set that alarm. Maybe you had some independence there. Maybe you had to get your feet on the ground with that a little bit earlier than others, but most of us didn't. Most of us didn't have that as a traditional student, that K-12 student. We now as adults, we're independent. We have to get up. We have to get ourselves going. Now you could see that as a negative and say, gosh, well, then, if I lose my own personal motivation, then I'm just stuck. I can't go any further. Maybe that independence is not good. Independence means this. Independence means that you have a choice. Adult learners have a choice in how and when they learn, in how and when you learn. It means you don't have to study in a certain way. You don't have to take notes in a certain way. You don't have to check these teeny tiny little boxes in a way that you're supposed to as that elementary, middle, high school student, because they have to check boxes, right? They have to take those standardized tests. They have to hit all of those standards. And yeah, to some degree, if you're studying for the GED or the HiSET, you have standards and boxes that you have to check, but you don't have a certain path that you have to take to get there. You have independent choice, and that's a good thing. So embrace that. Adult learners are independent. Number two, adult learners are practical. Adult learners have, as I like to say, you've already been to the puppet show, you've already seen the strings, you already kind of know some things. Maybe you learned some things the hard way about how the world works or doesn't work, and you know that you have to put in effort if you want to see results. But adult learners want and need their information in a different way. You want your information, what you are learning, to mean something. You don't want to just learn something for the sake of learning it, unless it's an interest that you have, a pleasure activity that you're involved in, a hobby, and you want to learn more about that given skill. Adult learners want to tie their learning to practical applications. You don't want to just say, although sometimes we have to say this, it's on the test, so just learn it. Sometimes we do have to say that. We have to swallow that pill. But if you can all find that practical component, if you can say, okay, it is important for me to learn whole numbers in math because it's important for me to do that mental math in my head, in the workplace, on the job. It's important for me to learn about certain social studies skills because I want to be an informed voter. I want to be an informed member of society. Tie practicality to what you are learning. Not only will it make it more fun and more interesting, but studies show that adult learners need to anchor what they're learning in practical application in order to build that long-term memory and those critical thinking skills that you need. So as you're working through study materials and you think, okay, I'm never going to use this again, try to push that question and say, how will I use this again? What's another scenario that I might use this? Fractions and percentages and ratios. Those things come up all the time as students say, I don't want to learn this. I'm never going to use this. If you are a DIY person at home and you're working with a tape measure, you're working with fractions, you're working with measurements. If you are a bargain shopper or you are trying to make your dollar go as far as you possibly can at the grocery store, you better understand percentages. So anytime you can anchor your learning in practical application, the better. And anytime you can go into a job interview and give them practical examples of how you have embraced independence and you have embraced practicality in your learning, they're going to be very, very impressed. Third thing, adult learners are open-minded. Many students that I have met are very open-minded. They say, you know what? I didn't learn in the way that spoke to me in the past. Tell me what I can do. Give me some ideas. Give me some suggestions of how I can better myself. See, when we're younger, we erroneously think, we mistakenly think, got it all figured out. I don't need somebody to tell me how to do this. I've got it all figured out. Adult learners know we need help. We need help. Everyone needs someone to come alongside them. And having the open-mindedness to be this, to be teachable, is a valuable and unfortunately a lacking skill in our workforce. We need to be a group of people who can say, you know what? I don't know how to do that, or I tried to do that and it didn't work out before. Show me what I can do. Give me a different example. Give me a different idea because I want to learn. I want to be open-minded. I want to be flexible, and I want to be teachable. Teachers love that in students, and employers definitely love that in employees. So embrace your open-mindedness. Ooh, I love this one. Number 4, adult learners are deep thinkers. You are deep thinkers because you link your learning to what you already know about the world. And advanced years I've got 46 of them. I know. Advanced years on your age only add to the amount of practical experiences that you can link to your learning. An 8-year-old, when they're learning fractions, they don't necessarily have that, hey, I was measuring something and I needed an eighth of a yard. They aren't really doing those hands-on projects. They aren't using their practical skills. They aren't, they're not sewing, they're not cutting, they're not, doing some of these things that we do as adults. They're not buying the groceries, they're not having to work the percentages. So their realm of experiential knowledge isn't as great. But adult learners have a whole depth of knowledge to play into. And don't shortchange yourself. Don't say, well, you say I have a depth of knowledge, but I left that traditional classroom when I was in 10th grade. So do I only have that K through 10th grade experience? No, you've got all that life experience that you have put into play. You've somehow gotten a job. You have paid the bills. You get yourself from point A to point B. Don't discredit life experience. Life experience is invaluable. Now, when it's combined with that educational experience, man, that's your 1-2 punch, right? So that's where adult learners also have a leg up. You are deep thinkers. All right. Love this one. We've already touched on this a little bit. Adult learners are experience driven. Show me how I'm going to use this. And if I'm not going to use it every day, be honest with me and tell me I'm not going to use it every day. I'll be honest with you. You probably aren't going to use the Pythagorean theorem every day. You probably aren't necessarily going to count the number of atoms or molecules in an atom, unless you're going into a science or math related field. So some of these things that, yes, you are learning for your high school equivalency credential, you won't use every day. But remember, the test makers are testing you not just on that content knowledge. What is 80% of the test that they're testing you on? Your ability to think. And that you definitely have covered. Just link it back to your experiences. Put something into use every day that you have learned so that you can ground and solidify your learning. Put what you know into what you do, because adult learners are experience driven. Touch it, see it, feel it, do it. All righty. Adult learners are motivated. And you might say, oh, Jen, I don't know. Sometimes I get up in the morning and I'm not motivated. I just don't feel like doing it. Guess what? If you do it, even when you don't feel like doing it, then you're motivated. You don't have to go back to school, do you? Nope. You don't have to get a high school equivalency credential. Nope. You don't have to get ready for these exams. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to better yourself with career and vocational skills to be a standout in the job market, do you? No, you don't have to. So that motivation has to come internally. Different than when we're children or when we're teens or when we're youth, right? The state makes you go to school. Your parents can get in trouble if you aren't sending your kids to school. It's called truancy, and you don't want to get one of those letters. You don't have that choice. You have to go. So you don't have that personal, again, independence and self-motivation. But as an adult learner, you do. So embrace what motivates you. You say, well, Jen, some of my things don't really sound great that motivate me. I need a new job. I'm having trouble paying my bills. That's still a motivator, guys and gals. That is still a motivator. We talk a lot about stress and how, test taking stress, if it's too stressful, if it's too much, it can overcrowd our thoughts and get us bogged down. So we talk about some anti-test anxiety tips and tools that we have. But stress in and of itself can be a motivator if we channel it well. You can say, you know what? I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get my credential. And then after I get my credential, I'm going to do this. Adult learners have a different type of motivation. Again, because your learning is linked to life. You have seen the value of education and practice. You have seen the value of learning new skills and putting those skills in practice and having the financial and the career and the self-esteem and just the general, oh my goodness, I accomplished something reward that comes along with that. So embrace your motivations, even the ones that you think might be a negative. Channel those negative forces for good. All right, here's one we can all agree on. Adult learners are busy. Adult learners are busy. And while I think that it is a danger in our society to use busyness like a badge of honor, like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy. Okay, well, what did you do today? I don't know. I was just so busy. I'm not talking about that kind of busy. I'm talking about your ability as an adult learner to study, to go to a job, to care for people in your life, to take care of your financial responsibilities, to continue to plan for the future, to maybe do something to further your mental and your physical health, to do things to be involved in social activities and those people around you. All of those activities are time-consuming activities. And in order to manage those things, in order to manage all of those life things, plus study, plus bettering yourself, plus, then you show the ability to be a time management marvel. You show the ability to juggle things well. You show the ability to, okay, in this arena, as a mom, I'm focusing on this. In this arena, as a student, I'm focusing on this. When I go to work, I flip the switch and I do my work skills. You are showing your ability to commit 100% in all of those roles. Are you going to feel like you are an accomplished winner in that every day? Absolutely not. I definitely don't. I lay in bed at night and think, oh, really could have done this differently today. Oh, I could have done that differently in that aspect. Okay, so get up the next morning and do it differently. You are a shining example as an adult learner of someone who knows how to manage time well, to plan your time, to get those steps in order to try as much as you can to do all of the things in the course of the day. Are you always going to do them well? Nope, you're not. But that's okay, because guess what? Adult learners are also human. So you're going to make those mistakes. The important thing is to learn from the mistakes. Figure out plans and patterns that work best for you. And remember that life is seasonal. As the seasons change, as the demands in your life change, as you know, you have health concerns or something else that comes up that makes you slow down, that makes you stop, push back, prioritize, and then keep going. And this is something you can definitely talk about in one of those pre-college interviews, in a job interview, saying, look, adult learners have multiple responsibilities. Let me tell you about some of mine. Let me tell you about some of the things I've learned, maybe from some missteps, and let me tell you how I have best learned to manage my time. Personalize that question to you and your unique skill set. Here's another one. Adult learners are expectant. I like that word, expectant. Adult learners expect that they will accomplish their goals. Adult learners expect what will happen after they accomplish their goals. Don't use if statements. When I complete my high school equivalency credential, when I get accepted to college, when I get that great new job, this is what I'm going to do. Why are adult learners expectant? Because the good ones, the ones that are checking off those life boxes in the course of the day, they're planners. So you're able to have, yes, those small manageable goals along the way, but you never lose sight of that big picture. You never lose sight of your why along the way. We often use this phrase, the best way to pass, speaking specific about these exams, is to plan to pass. The best way to pass is to expect to pass and put cushions around yourself, set yourself up for success so that you can stay targeted, so that you can stay focused on your goals. And if you aren't really sure what that looks like, that's something we can help you with here at Essential Education. All right, so that was 8. Let's review them really quickly. 8 important characteristics of adult learners that you should be embracing. Embrace your independence. Embrace your ability to choose. Yes, you have that test. You have expectations that are on that test, but no one's telling you how you have to study or how you have to prepare. You get to choose the path that's right for you. You want to not live paycheck to paycheck. You want to have more financial stability. Okay. You get to choose what that looks like. You're independent. You can pursue your passions and your dreams along the way. Adult learners have a choice. Adult learners are practical. You want things to make sense. So tie your learning to your everyday life. Adult learners are open-minded and you are flexible, and those are two wonderful qualities. Adult learners are deep thinkers because you have a whole realm, years and years of life experiences to intermix those educational components with. You are experience driven. Excel in your life experiences. Highlight those life experiences. They are valuable. Adult learners are motivated. You are motivated because you are expectant. You are expectant in the midst of the busyness, in the midst of all the chaos, that you will accomplish your goals. Never lose sight of your why. That's your internal motivation that will always be there with you. Sure, we talk about this. Surround yourself with people that will cheer you on along the way, but be your best cheerleader. Be your own best cheerleader by being expectant. And I've got an honorable mention of sorts. Read an article last summer and the title struck me. You can imagine, because of who I get to work with. I get to work with our adult learner community. The title struck me and it said this: why adult students are happier. You heard it here first. Adult students are happier. Why adult students are happier. Now, this was talking specifically about adult college students, those who got their high school equivalency credential at a different point in life, or maybe they just delayed college for a time period. And so now they are what is considered, dun, 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 a non-traditional student. But you know what? Just like we talk about, sometimes we're negative, we feel like these are negative motivations and that we're being motivated by stress. Don't let the non-traditional throw you off. Yeah, I'm non-traditional. I'm different. Look at me. And those students have been shown to be happier. Why? Because of all the things we've already talked about. You aren't just going to college because somebody expects you to. You're going to college, you're footing your own bill, you're paying for it because you know that it is valuable. And because you know that it is value, what you value, you will cherish. What you value, you will put time and effort into. What you value, hopefully yourself, is something that you are going to invest in. And when you do that and you see your efforts pay off, there is a joy that comes from that. There is an unfeathered happiness that comes from, I know I have possibilities and I still accomplished in expectancy what I said I was going to do. And I don't care who you are. When you do that, there is a bubbling up of happiness and joy that, yeah, it's self-pride, and you should be proud of yourself and your efforts. We cherish our adult learning community. We know that you can do this, and we know that we can help. We can help with personalized learning resources that you can get by becoming an enrolled student. We can help with support and encouragement through times like these live streams and through our social media channels at GED study tips and test prep. And we can help with our growing now YouTube community as well. We want to get to know you. We have a whole team of student advisors that if you have a question as an enrolled student, or you'd like to learn more about becoming an enrolled student, this team is unbelievable. They are there to help you, to answer your questions and give you that boost of extra outside encouragement that you might need along the way. And if you'd like to learn more, of course, you can let your fingers do the typing or scroll on your smartphone to essentialed.com/students, where you'll find a wealth of free and valuable low-cost resources. You can do this. We can help. We hope to see you right back here for another little information session in our live stream next Monday at 2 Eastern time. Take care. Y'all have a great day.